Hey yo, welcome to a special episode of the show. I am your lone host, Harry. If you were paying attention, last night Tyson did a show solo, and that's because I slept in. I missed the show. So I am doing a makeup stream as penance for Tyson doing it all on his own. And thank you, Tyson, for righting the ship last night. But let's see what we can do. So, yeah, we are going to cover some Raw and some SmackDown. And the retro, we typically do a retro each week, but we're going to save that. If we don't do it in the middle of this week, we'll just save it to next show. So we'll get back on track. So again, that's my bad. Don't know what else to say about that. But y'all don't care about that. So let's go into Raw. And we are Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And Sami Zayn in the building. He's scheduled out of a match nowhere near the caliber of a Gunther match later. So that's going to be fun. And then later, Damian Priest, Cody Rhodes, and Jey Uso arrived in the building. And we find out that Jey Uso is facing Finn Balor later. So that'll be exciting. And then Rhea Ripley comes out. And she comes out with her arm in a sling, and she is noticeably upset, not nearly the magnetic presence that she usually is. She is completely turned down, and understandably so. If you've been paying attention to the headlines, she was injured. If it wasn't WrestleMania, it was during the Liv Morgan sketch with her little tussle. So we find out right off the bat that Ripley's been forced to vacate her title. Crowd boos Liv Morgan, as they should, and they chant bullshit because Ripley has to relinquish her title. And Ripley says that she would have more respect for Morgan if she came at her face to face, but she had to attack her when she wasn't looking, and for that she can't respect her. She calls Morgan a coward. She would have dropped her had it been the other way around. Ripley warns whoever wins her title that she's coming back for blood. And when she finds Liv, they're going to have to lock her up in Montreal jail, which, in fairness to Ripley, I think they just call it jail. I don't think they just call it Montreal jail. So just saying. And then Morgan came out to waste some TV time, and I personally would have been embarrassed to be one of the 6 men assigned to hold her back, because that was sad. And then Judgment Day, they have a moment backstage after the little fake tease brawl thing that they had. They didn't really touch. Obviously, Ripley's hurt, so they couldn't really do anything physical. It's sad. Ripley's obviously the top female wrestler probably in the world right now. Certainly the most recognizable and the most impressive. And for her to have her historic title run, even though it hasn't been very eventful, to end like this in a nothing brawl with a nothing opponent, it's sad. To me, it would be like if Hulk Hogan was scheduled in a program with Brutus the Barber Beefcake and happened to get hurt. It's just, this isn't going to be like the McIntyre thing where they're going to turn it into a positive storyline. Liv Morgan's not going to get the same reaction as Drew McIntyre did for hurting Punk. So this is just sad all around. Hopefully Ripley comes back stronger than ever. She probably will. Hopefully she works on her promos, because that's probably the only chink in her armor. But yeah, sad to see. And you can see that she was sad. And yeah. But fuck that. Sheamus is back. And he has his old badass theme music, which is great. They did the stupid, what the fuck were they called? Brawling Brutes, that stupid music, and then they reverted back to his old debut theme music, which I personally love. And that's one of my all-time favorite theme songs. So I'm glad it's back. And he's sporting slightly longer tights. It's not really relevant. It's just kind of weird to see. And he's beaten Ivar tonight. And of course, he won with a brogue kick. It's really just a Sheamus exhibition. It's glad to have him back. Two big beefy guys just beating the shit out of each other. What more can you want? The 10 beats of the bell drum thing is still stupid, though. So after that, they aired a video package, and it was to illustrate that WWE doesn't give a fuck about the Intercontinental Championship anymore, and how they can intend to completely erase 600 Days of Perfection by having Sami Zayn defend it. Little bitch ass. And Gable arrives to the building. He looked ridiculous. He looked like a child and is wearing his dad's clothes. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if it was the sunglasses or the fact that he was wearing a suit that was 3 sizes too small. But yeah, just kind of didn't look right to me. I am the paragon of fashion. So Triple H and Adam Pearce revealed new tag team belts for Raw, and they look like the other Raw belts, the women's belt and the World Heavyweight title. So it's kind of cool. It's got the red Raw tag, or not Raw, red tag team champion banner thing. So that's the distinction. It's pretty similar to the other ones. I don't know how I feel about that, but then again, they released into Share, so the tag team division doesn't mean dick now. And you have Miz and R-Truth as the tag team champions instead of a legit team like into Share. They decided to roll with DIY, Pretty Deadly, Tyler Bate and his lesbian. So that's the tag team division. And when you have a legitimate team like into Share just be released, seemingly out of nowhere and not legitimately pushed, kind of makes me not want to watch the tag team division. So we'll just skip the rest of that. DIY beat the Inbreed Brothers. 2 Children beat pretty decent wrestlers, not better than Into Share. So don't know what the fuck they're doing. Then they replayed Uso and McIntyre, the match that they had with Punk interfering at the very end, grabbing his leg. And they cut to Drew McIntyre kind of laughing to himself, and then some hole tries to ask him a question, and he just keeps laughing, and he's just like, "Are you all right?" And he just keeps laughing, and then he just kicks over the TV. So McIntyre's still pissed, obviously. And unfortunately, that was his only segment. There was a bitch match. I skipped it. Dupree still has cancer AIDS, or still looks like cancer AIDS in the ring. Hartwell gave the weakest cheap shot at the end that makes me feel justified for not giving these bimbos the time of day. So there's that. Judgment Day had a backstage segment. They're pouting, and then Priest tries to fire everybody up. Clearly, he's trying to take over the leadership role from Ripley because she was definitely the leader. And he tells Dominic that he has to go out there and teach Andrade a lesson tonight. And McTurd's going to have his back. McTurd's all fired up about that. And then he tells Prince Balor to teach Uso the meaning of the word loss, even though Jey Uso knows plenty about the word loss. And then Priest is teaching Uso pain at Backlash. So everybody has something to do. Moving forward, we have Andrade versus Dominic. And Dom has yet another accessory, or I just noticed it. It's that little vest thing that kind of makes him look like a cow. I don't know what the fuck it makes him look like. It's kind of weird. I like it, but I don't. I like the old school aesthetic to his accessories, but he just has so fucking much. He's like Migos, man. Just all the shit he has on. But this was a very solid match. Andrade and Dominic. Andrade's really grown on me. I didn't really. I've said it a million times. I didn't catch his first run. Obviously, didn't watch any of his AEW stuff, but since he's come back, I really enjoy his quiet, badass. He kind of reminds me of that. Oh fuck, Lalo from Better Call Saul. Just that quiet, sinister badass, and I really appreciate it. And yeah, Dominic, he's solid. He's just annoying as fuck, and I hate the crowd that he cultivates. And Andrade won with a message. And you'd think at some point the 2-on-1 advantage for the Judgment Day would work, but no, it didn't. And McTurd and Dom, they beat up Andrade post match. Ricochet came out to waste some TV time. So great. Moving forward, we have a Chad Gable interview and the whole ass Gable about winning the Intercontinental title. Gable says it's vindication for his entire career. And he's also ready. He's never been more ready in his life. So then the whole ass about the Montreal crowd, about being hostile, and they're obviously going to be cheering Sami Zayn, the Intercontinental title holder. Gable says he's been to the Olympics, so this ain't nothing. Especially after Sami showed him all his weaknesses when he trained him. So we got a little bit of story there. Does Gable have the upper hand? I mean, Gable beat Gunther too, so this is kind of an interesting matchup on paper. Too bad Sami's a bitch ass. So Jey Uso had an interview, and the whole ass about the Solo and Tama Tonga attack on Jimmy Uso. Jey says the bloodline's a dark road, and he told Jimmy to come with him. But tonight he needs to focus on Finn Balor. And there was another bitch match, the Whale and the Harpy one. So there's that. Check out Tyson's review from last night if you want to go into the deep dive of the bitch matches. Liv Morgan also had a segment to show her lack of talent. Didn't really care for it. And we're skipping Cody Rhodes. He comes out, and I like that Cody Rhodes carries the belt like Ric Flair did. He doesn't wear it around his waist. I mean, when he's wearing the suits and stuff, it kind of makes sense. You don't want to mess up the suits. I just like that. He's a very traditional, old school baby face. Obviously, there's modern sprinkles in, but he's very, very old school, and I love it. So he appeals to the crowd by speaking French. He does the "What are you talking about?" I assume that's what he said in French. Could have said "fuck your mother," and they applauded it. I don't know. I don't speak French, so there's that. Cody says Pierce has been nice enough to let him hang out in Raw, even though he's a SmackDown guy. And we can't ride the WrestleMania 40 wave forever because there's a match brewing. Is it going to be LA Knight or AJ Styles? Cody brings up Rollins out of the blue, thanks him. And then he brings up The Rock. I guess The Rock is doing some Okinawa training because he said The Rock is bringing in all these people for different disciplines. So I can just imagine The Rock in this warehouse with all these people just fucking attacking him one by one with just nothing but torch lights. Actually, you know what? They should do that. I would appreciate that. The Rock is so over the top, he could do that. Well, The Rock said that he's going to make Cody bleed again. I guess this is a fucking social media shit. The Rock is kind of bipolar now because one clip or one video I saw of him, he was thanking Seth Rollins and saying that he was the true hero and blah, 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 blah. So now I guess he's back to saying that he's going to make Cody bleed again. So I'll let Tyson cipher through that bullshit because I can't make it. I wish they would just fucking be consistent. If they're going to use social media, be your character. Don't do this fucking flip-flop shit. I don't care what Dwayne Johnson does. I don't care what Dwayne Johnson thinks about fucking Seth Rollins. I want to know if The Rock is going to fucking cave Cody Rhodes' skull in at WrestleMania 41. So Cody says he'll make The Rock bleed right with him. So he ain't scared. And Cody brings up the bloodline. He says Friday left more questions than answers. Which means that he needs to talk to Jey Uso. So Jey Uso comes out and the yeet shit, dude. God damn it, the yeet shit. And Cody playing along with it. His stock slightly decreased in my eyes. Just a little bit. But Cody offered to watch Jay's back against Finn Balor. And Jay said, it's only Finn Balor. He might have more losses than I do, so I don't need your help. And Cody said, okay. And yeah, the Jey Uso segments are moving dangerously close to the women's segments, especially when he does a little fucking yeet shit. I gotta yeet, and then I gotta yeet, and then I gotta yeet, and then the fucking hand gesture. What are you doing, Jay? God, you're Samoan. Let Tozawa do the fucking hand gestures. Nia Jax had an interview, and my hand gestured to the remote, and I skipped right past that shit. So Jey Uso beat Finn Balor. I like how they had Balor jump Uso from behind to start the match. Too bad it really didn't mean dick. Jay and Priest had to stare down at the end of the match. Judgment Day attacked Uso, and it didn't seem like Priest enjoyed that, but he didn't stop it either. Jay ends up super kicking Dominic outside the ring. He throws McTurd into Balor, then runs away through the crowd. And Priest gets on the turnbuckle to get a better look at Jay running away. I guess. I don't know what the fuck that was. Like he just stood on the turnbuckle. And then it cut away. He didn't even raise his belt. Did he raise his belt? I don't think he raised his belt. Let's say he didn't, just because it's funnier than just fucking watching shit. He's tall too. What does he need to get on the turnbuckle for? Tall ass bisexual Undertaker. So then Jay starts walking through the concession area. There's fans. And there's one dumb fuck fan that tried to take a selfie with Jay. And Jay just pushed him out of the way. Which, good. Fucking, what are you doing? And then the fan had the audacity to kind of look at Jay like, what are you doing? Why can't you let me interrupt TV with my fucking selfie? Why can't you just enjoy the moment, you can, bastard? I almost said Canadian, but I don't want to piss off the Canadian listeners. But yeah, so Jay pushes the fan out of the way, goes outside, and he runs into Sami Zayn, who looks like a homeless bum. And he's just staring up at the sky. And he wants to know Jay wants to know what has his attention. Jay spews some shit about something. I don't know. He doesn't have an Austrian accent, so it's not impressive. Sami Zayn went back to the ring. So it was one continuous shot from Jey Uso leaving to Sami Zayn going to the ring, which was a really, really awesome trick. It's just too bad that they wasted it on a piece of shit. So then we get Sami Zayn and Chad Gable. And before the match, Bronson Reed tells Gable that whoever wins gets to face him next. We're recycling the Intercontinental Championship gauntlet. Sammy beat Gable. I'm sure Sammy's going to fuck the shit out of his mom wife real good. Or he did. She probably got it real good. And I'm glad we traded a ring general for a ring rat. Because that's what Sammy is. So after Sammy let his dad feel like he let his dad kiss all over his neck and shoulders and shit. It's weird. What the fuck is with his family? Like I've never let my dad kiss on me like that. I've never kissed my dad on the lips. It's just weird behavior. I don't know. Maybe that's how they do it in Canada. Maybe it's a cultural thing, but I just find that really weird. Just mwah. Why don't you just shake hands and nod respectfully, or just nod. Don't say anything. Just nod slightly. That's how you show love between a man and his son. Buy him a hooker. You want somebody to kiss him. So yeah, after all that, went on a little tangent there. Gable comes up from behind. He nails Sammy with a German suplex. He beats the fuck out of Sammy. And then he hangs him on the turnbuckle in front of his family and gets him in an ankle lock. And then, that's how Raw ends. I guess the attack continued because I saw a picture of him in another ankle lock position. So I assume he let him go, and then he said, "No, I'm gotta put him back in the ankle lock." So, yay! Sami Zayn and Chad Gable are a program for the Intercontinental title. Man, it's more exciting than anything Gunther could be in. So, but yeah, not really too much going on with Raw. Lots of cool. I like I'm not going to say anything new. Everybody's praising the production value of Raw now that Big KD's gone. So it's kind of where we're going with that. Well, let's head on over to Friday Night SmackDown. That's Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But before that, see, I don't normally do this part. I just want to say that we are on the road to 500 subscribers. Myself and Tyson here on the show podcast. We have been doing this for a little over a year, maybe longer. I don't know. Feels like just yesterday. But we would appreciate it if you like what you hear, to hit that like button, hit the bell, hit the subscribe button if you want to keep hearing what you like, and then hit the bell to get notified for the things that you like. We are on Spotify sporadically. We are on all the social medias. If it's a media, we're socializing on it. So check us out there, Show Podcast and or the Show Podcast 7. And I think that... we have a WWE affiliate link. So if you want to get your Gunther merchandise, which I know you will, God damn it, then go ahead and use our affiliate link. It will be in the description. And I think that is... I think that's all the selling that we typically do here. So now we go to SmackDown, which again is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Bayley's in the building. She's defending her title against Naomi, who comes twirling into the building. So this is actually the fucking main event. Like, who twirls walking into... Come on, man. Jesus. We had LA Knight versus AJ Styles. Styles won. He faces Cody at Backlash. It was probably the worst of... I think they faced each other 3 times. I think this is the worst of their 3 matches. Like, I don't know. Maybe they were just trying to... Man, we got all these people hurt. Can't have AJ Styles hurt. Who the fuck is Cody going to wrestle? Ricochet? Can't have that. Just fucking protect AJ. Y'all just do sissy slaps and pin him. Well, after that, they recap the Bloodline stuff from last week. And then Heyman's waiting in the parking lot. And a limo pulls up. And out comes Solo wearing a suit. And then Tama Tonga pops up from behind Heyman. And then Tonga and Solo have a weird, awkward, stiff hug. And then Tonga stares intently at Heyman the whole time. So it's like he's hugging Solo, but he wants to fuck Heyman. And then Solo asks if Kevin Owens is in the building. And Heyman's like, I guess so. And Solo tells Heyman to take him to Owens. I must have missed something. I don't know why Kevin Owens is all of a sudden the target, but maybe Solo's taking out Roman's old victims. I don't know. I don't know what the logic is. But he's doing it. Theory and Waller are introduced next by Triple H and Nick Aldis, and they get new tag team belts too. I think they look better than the Raw belts, and that's mainly because they look like the old Attitude Era belts. I think it was the Attitude Era. If it wasn't the Attitude, it was the yeah. It's not the fucking Spartan Shield shit that they have, but yeah, I think it's pretty sure it's the Attitude Era. The best version of the tag belts. But it doesn't matter because the tag team division doesn't mean dick. They don't care about the tag team division. They'd rather have little kids and lesbians be tag team champions for WWE. So after that, Naomi had an interview, and she talked about not being a WWE or in a WWE championship match in over 2 years or some shit. I'm too lazy to fact check that, so I'll just take her word for it. Then Bayley's interviewed. She's nervous about the draft, and she's excited about facing Naomi. Hooray. All right. Then we get Solo Sikoa. Looks like he's heading to the ring, and he kind of stops, and before whatever he's about to do, he's still looking for Owens, and Solo's pissed off at he's pissed off at Heyman because he can't find him. Heyman tries to tell Solo that he's not the tribal chief yet, but Solo's not hearing any of that shit. Solo's in too deep now. Like, he's done the coup. He's taken out the head generals or whatever. Yeah, the head general. He's got to just keep moving forward now. Whatever happens, happens. And they get to the ring, and then Heyman starts by saying how good of a backstage politician he is. Crowd starts chanting Roman, or we want Roman. And then you can see like Solo mouth, oh, now you do. Now you want him. Heyman starts to stumble over his words, and then Solo snatches the mic from Heyman. Solo said that he had to lose his brother last week to gain a new one. His MFT. Which, I don't know, Marry, Fuck, Thrill? I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't think they explained what it means. But there it is. Motherfucking Tonga. I don't know. Suddenly, a bloody Owens is thrown into the entranceway from the back, and Tama Tonga paces behind him. And then he walks over to Owens and joins Solo. He walks over Owens, like not even looking at him, just steps right over him. And he joins Solo so they could throw the ones up. And Owens, he stumbles back in the ring. He takes on Tonga, and Solo gets his hands on Owens. Then a whole bunch of security comes out. Solo throws Owens in the ring and tells Tama to handle him. And Owens ends up kicking Tonga's ass before security holds him back. And then as security has Owens' arm, Solo spikes Owens. And Tonga starts pummeling Owens and then beating the shit out of security. Tonga then goes to get a chair. And all this man is just to get in the ring, and he stands off Solo and Tonga. And then Solo's like, all right, that's enough. We made our point. Which is interesting, that because Solo is the wild one, but Tama Tonga is the one that has to be restrained by Solo. So that's interesting. So Solo stands in the entranceway. He shows off his bloody tape where he spiked Owens. And it cuts back to commercial, and Aldis is dragging Heyman to the parking lot, and he reveals the Tama Tonga's rental car smashed into Kevin Owens' rental car. So Tama didn't just jump him. He tried to assassinate him. And Heyman's sick. He's like, this wasn't authorized. I don't know what the fuck to do. The shit is just getting out of control. Like, Heyman usually, is one step, maybe 10 steps ahead of people. This time he is playing from behind and he does not know how to handle it. And for the first time, he's fighting, he's on his back foot and all the other analogies that you can use for him to, Salda says that we settle in the ring here on SmackDown. We're not savages. Next week's the draft. Heyman better get the bloodline under control or the repercussions will be equally savage. Losing is not the only thing that has consequences, Mr. Heyman. And the bloodline stuff is picking up. It's great. The only thing I would change is I don't know if I would have Solo in a suit. I don't know if he's the type of guy that looks right in a suit because he kind of looked like low budget. And I'm getting vibes of the NWO after like the main players left. So they split off to the Wolfpack. So they're, Hall and Nash are gone. I think Hall may have had his problems. And Hogan was ultimately kicked out of the Black and White, or he left or whatever. So then you had like these nobodies leading the NWO. So you still had the NWO name. It was still kind of progressing that storyline, even though it was shit. Now this is far from shit, but I'm kind of getting the visual. It's kind of like low rent because you have Roman who looks like a superstar. And I don't know, Solo just, he looked like he was wearing a rental suit or rental tux or whatever. Just didn't look right on him. And maybe it's just me. Again, I am the paragon of fashion, so I handle the fashion division here on the show podcast. So it's kind of my thing. But yeah, I love the savagery. I like how it's getting darker. I'm just interested to see how Jacob Fatu is going to fit into all of this because he is awesome. And I'm glad he's going to be on a big stage. He really should be what Solo is as far as the enforcer. And I'm kind of concerned for Solo. I don't know if they're going to let it happen. Triple H, the machine. But Jacob Fatu has the talent, the mic skills, the charisma, all of it to completely overshadow Solo. So I'm kind of concerned about that for him. I don't know. Again, I don't know if that's something that, I mean, they threw Zack Ryder off of an entranceway in a wheelchair after Cena fucked his girl after the fans got behind him when he won the U.S. title or the Intercontinental, one of the titles. So if the machine wants to kill you, they will. But Fatu can do it. I can't wait. And I like that because for the most part, last year was just, it was copy paste. You kind of know what's gonna. The Lesnar Cody thing was kind of a new deal, and then it didn't really pick up until WrestleMania. Here, like right off the bat, oh shit, where are they going? What's gonna happen? Because come on, raise your hand. Did you really believe Roman was gonna lose before WrestleMania last year? What was good? LA Knight gonna beat him? I mean, he might be champion one day, but not like that. Who the fuck else did he wrestle? Wrestled Sammy. Oh, he did tag team shit too. God, you're such a lazy champion, Roman. But yeah, I mean, of course he was going to keep it. So yeah, I just like that now that we've kind of moved past that, we've got something else to bite our teeth into, and it's a lot more interesting to me. I don't know where the fuck Solo's going to go with this. I don't know what the fuck Roman thinks of this. How does The Rock fit in? I think Rock's pulling the strings for the bad guys. So it's going to be like, NWO or Bloodline Wolfpack versus Bloodline Black and White. But then, because you would think that, I would think that it would be Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Solo. And I think we talked about this last week versus the Usos and Roman. But the thing is, the Usos, how does Roman gain their trust? How does the Usos regain their trust? I mean, I think that's an easier bridge to build because they're twins and they're brothers, blah, 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 blah. But how does Roman get back in their good graces? Because they basically have to reform the bloodline. And is Jay going to be wanting to do that? Is Jimmy going to resent Roman for what Solo's doing? It's interesting to think. But I like that there's questions. I like that well, are they going to do this? Or what if this? What if that? Instead of, oh, well, they're doing this. So, good shit. Good shit. Escobar beat Carlito. See? Copy paste. I don't know why. I didn't really watch it, I'll be honest with you. So I don't know if they teased the Carlito Dragon Lee thing. I know they mentioned it, but I don't know why the fuck Carlito is back, because he just seems to be in Groundhog Day right now, and he keeps losing. And that's not cool. All right, so Damage Control are in the skybox. They're watching Bailey and Naomi because they hate them, I guess. And then Jade and Not Jade interrupt. And yeah, if you hear this, Tyson, yeah, they're winning the titles. You're right. I believe you 100%. Or at least they're getting a match. But yeah, I would not be surprised if they win the titles. And then they're probably going to, maybe they're going to do the Janetti Sean thing where they split them up. So Naomi and Bailey have their match. Bailey wins by disqualification. Tiffany Stratton came out and she whooped both of their asses. And she had a moonsault on Bailey and Naomi. And I think that's probably setting up a triple threat match. It's the only thing that kind of makes sense to me right now. I don't see... Because obviously now Bailey has an issue with Stratton. Stratton wants her title. But Naomi's now going to be pissed. Their issue's not done. So, triple threat match. Yay. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't give a shit. And then after the match, the bees are in the skybox. They're all mad. That's Jade and Not Jade. And then Not Jade, she makes to take off her hoops, which glad she sticks to her principles and instead of just being a talentless whore. That's great. And but yeah, that's SmackDown. And this is the point in time where we typically do the retro stuff, but obviously I am solo today, so that's not going to be the case. But what I will do, seeing if there's anything noteworthy in the old wrestling news. Oh, Swerve Strickland won the heavyweight title. There's that. Oh, Jack Perry returned to help the Young Bucks win. If you've been paying attention to anything, you knew that was going to happen. That's not really news, though. Those are results, so I apologize. No, not really. Now I did mention that Into Share was released. Sanga mentioned on social media that essentially, WWE doesn't have any Indian wrestlers. They want to get in the market. They're not pushing them. I mean, you had two badass ones in your fucking roster. One was an MMA guy. I don't know why you couldn't do anything with them. And Jinder Mahal looked the best he's been in years. So, but you have room for Johnny fucking Gargano and The Miz and Waller. Go figure. I guess Zion Quinn and Xia Li were released as well. Zion Quinn was the guy that I thought looked really badass until he got beat within 10 seconds by Braun Breaker. So thank you for 10 seconds of awesomeness, Zion. Xia Li, yeah, she looked like Kung Lao in the Royal Rumble 2 years ago. And I guess she was the first Chinese-born WWE superstar. Don't really, yeah. I remember she fucking had that thing with Becky Lynch where she's like, I'm gonna get your title, but on my time. And then Becky would have all these matches, and then she finally had her time and she lost. And I think she lost again. She lost twice in a row. So her time came and went. And she was impressive looking though. And yeah, I think that is going to do it for me. I think I've embarrassed myself enough for you folks. And yeah, just making sure I got all my P's and Q's. Yep. So with that being said, everybody have a good night. We will be, if we don't see you in the middle of the week with our retro, we will be regular time, same bat channel on Saturday. And yeah, without further ado, everybody, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for listening and have a good night. And top guys